5'9" with the real red eyes, and we dying inside. Oh, bodies in fluoride.
What is good, y'all? This is JB here, back with another album review. I'm so excited to check this out. Finally, we got Chance 3, Coloring Book. It's his third mixtape. I'm really surprised that this late into his rap career, he's really doubling down on that whole mixtape thing, not really cashing in for that studio album release. I think that's so dope. A little background on him: Chicago MC, big fan of acid rap. That's what really, attracted my attention with the song Cocoa Butter Kisses. And then I went back after the fact and checked out his first mixtape, which I thought was fantastic also. And so finally he's back with another release. He's had a string of singles, and he was incorporated, for example, on Donnie Trumpet's last release, Surf, which was one of my favorite, if not my favorite, hip-hop release of 2015. So he's back with his mixtape. He just killed it on Kanye's album, and now he's back with one. And I gotta say, before I get into the individual tracks, that I think that this mixtape is absolutely fantastic. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite rap release of the year just yet. I definitely want to live with it a little bit longer. I want to see how it ages, what's the longevity of this piece. But I gotta say that this is a well-crafted masterpiece for sure. In my opinion, his best work to date. Both bar-wise, the melodies have gotten better, the production is cleaner, it's so cohesive, the feature list is on point, length, everything on this mixtape is on point, and I almost hesitate to call it a mixtape just because of the sheer quality of it. Like, this isn't your normal DatPiff shit, you know what I mean? Chance really takes care with his work. So let's just get into the songs. The first song we have is All We Got, featuring Kanye West and the Chicago Children's Choir. Similar to Kanye's release, he starts it off on some gospel stuff, and as someone who got brought up on gospel, I really hold that music close to home. And hearing it, he just sounded fantastic. It's impactful. It's in your point, and it's in your face. The children sound fantastic. The choir, and even Kanye, sounds on point, man. And I gotta say, I expected nothing less. I definitely felt like I was judging by the direction we've seen Chance's music moving towards, incorporating a lot more soul into it and gospel, going definitely back towards his roots for sure, and doubling down on the religious themes and incorporating God and his spirituality into his music. I definitely expected, we're gonna have some gospel on this mixtape, and we definitely got. So first track starts it off super impactful, fantastic track. And then it's followed up by No Problem, featuring Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz. And I gotta say, I was a little apprehensive, to be honest. I wasn't a fan of the Collegrove collaborative album that they did, so I was like, I hope they don't bring that auto-tune crooning nonsense onto Chance's album. And luckily, thank God, they did not. They really came through with some really solid verses. Chance's, spitting on here. We get some fantastic melodies. And 2 Chainz really holds his own. And on this, man, we're getting 3 lyrical dudes on here. And I love to hear Lil Wayne spit, man. When Lil Wayne's on it, he is on it. And I gotta say that their contributions were on point. Chance really held his own. The production was lush. It was warm. We get Summer Friends next. We got Jeremiah and Francis and the Lights. Gotta say, not the biggest fan of Jeremiah. I think he just has a very stock sound. I actually talked about him on my Post Malone release. I think he just has a very standard sound, but I thought his contribution to this song was fantastic. As you would imagine by the title of the song, it's a very warm, light feeling, and that's what I get from this album, is just good vibes. There's not a negative moment in sight. There's definitely some down-tempo moments, but for the most part, everything, just stays so warm and beautiful. And so I thought, Francis and Lights did a fantastic job on the latter half, and Jeremiah held his own too. Next we have Drum Sings Special. Shout out to Drum, man. I would have never expected his career to take this direction. Going back to, his Cha Cha single, which was really doing his thing, but basically when, Hotline Bling came, Cha Cha kind of died down, and then he kind of resurfaced with Surf. He had a little moment where he was just some real soft vocals on Surf that I thought was fantastic, and I loved getting to see Drum. I felt like in a more comfortable space what he's best at, and so we got another one, and I was so excited to hear him. Man, I'm a big fan of Drum, and I haven't heard much of his solo material. I've only really heard Cha Cha, but I thought he did a fantastic job on this. His vocal sounds on point. And is he the best vocalist I've heard in my life? Absolutely not. But I think he really can hold his own. And he's definitely, he has a soul and a passion and emotion to his voice that he did a fantastic job on. And he did a fantastic voice. He did a fantastic job really matching the overall aesthetic of the production. Next we have Blessings, man. I love this song, man. He did such a great job. I got to peep the live performance that I can't remember. He did on some night show. Maybe it was Jimmy Fallon, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember explicitly. But yeah, that the choir's intro on it. He's definitely singing. Everyone knows Chance isn't the best singer in the world, but he at no moment are you cringing from his voice. You know what I mean? He does his thing. He definitely has all the right vocals. He falls into pocket and he got the melody. He ain't flat. He ain't off beat or nothing like that. So he's singing. He holds his own. And I just love this song, man. The emotion, and I'm not a religious man myself, but I can definitely admire the sincerity behind him and his spirituality and the completion of this project and its total. Next we have Same Drugs. An interesting change of pace, both stylistically of the song and topic-wise. This was pretty interesting, some of the thematic and symbolic kind of approaches that he took on this track were really, really dope, so I appreciated that. And I love the placement of it. He pretty much almost put it like smack dab in the middle of the album, just completely switching the pace. And it's definitely a turning point in the project as a whole, because then that leads us into Mixtape featuring Young Thug and Lil Yachty. And I felt that this song was doomed. I was like, oh God, we have Chance the Rapper, who I hold in super high regard, Young Thug, who I actually don't dislike his music at all. I think for what he does, I think he does it well. And then Lil Yachty, who's slowly winning me over, just like Lil Uzi Vert did. But as of right now, I don't really know how to feel. I liked him on Post Malone's mixtape, but on his solo mixtape, I thought it was not for me. And I gotta say, this song is one of my favorite on the album. It's not my favorite on the album, but I think it's definitely, like, it has the most radio potential of it. And it was interesting hearing Chance kind of acclimate his sound to theirs, both in the ad-lib thing and his flow, man. He definitely falls into that southern triplet flow, and I think Chance does a fantastic job with it, man. None of it really sounds inorganic. It doesn't sound like him trying to force his sound into their lane, not at all. It sounds actually super organic. Lil Yachty does his thing. I can't help but laugh at a Lil Yachty verse, and I mean that in the best way possible, not in a negative way. But it's just a very kind of humorous approach to it. Again, similar to what we saw from McConan, except not garbage. And yeah, Young Thug definitely does his thing on here, and it's just definitely some interesting commentary about as the chorus suggests, am I the only one who still cares about mixtape? Well, it feels like everybody's moved on to this streaming single culture, or everybody's moved on to this, especially when it comes to the award show, getting that paid, or dropping that full-length album and having people get subscriptions and then buying this album and the whole monetary thing behind it. Is he the only one who still cares about not only what the mixtape does for the game, but what it does for culture, the cultural significance of the mixtape, what it means to put out something for free, and what is the true value of something that's free when the artistry is obviously there? For example, Chance's releases. Next we have Angels featuring Saba, which he actually put a music video out a couple weeks before dropping this, that I thought was so fantastic. He's in the Chicago streets dancing and everything like that. Saba really holds his own on the latter half of it. Homeboy spitting some great melodies. Love the chorus. I'm not gonna sing it because Chance's melodies are a little too ambitious for you, boy, so I ain't gonna sing it. But Love this song, man. Definitely one of the best. Next, we have Juke Jam featuring Justin Bieber and Tokyo. One of the most fascinating tracks on this album. I'm gonna call it album. I know it's a mixtape, but we all know what Chance is doing with this. This is something calculated. This ain't a bunch of throwaways for sure. Man, I gotta say, shout out to Justin Bieber, man. I haven't really heard him on his soul R&B shit like this since 2013 with Journals, and it's a shame that he really kind of abandoned that sound. I really loved Justin doing that R&B shit. He does his pop thing. He did the little rap thing for a little bit. But I really loved him on some R&B vocals, and I feel like we finally got him back on some of that. And shout out to Tokyo, man. This is a fantastic job. I couldn't believe how great these artists sounded together, and this is not something I necessarily pin. I know Chance jumped on Confidence, but again, that was that was feature Chance. This is on Chance 3 right here. We're getting him in his most organic, raw form. This is Chance the rapper right here. And Confidence was, him spitting over, some Justin style, mainstream production and stuff like that. But man, Justin really came through with his contribution. I can't speak his praises enough. And I'm not someone who dislikes Justin Bieber, but I like some of his stuff. I loved Journals, that release. Purpose wasn't really for me. And his older releases, fun pop songs. But I have I've never really disliked Justin Bieber, but I thought he did a fantastic job. And I hate to really harp on Justin's contribution to it, but that was what impressed me the most. I thought he did a fantastic job. And at this point, this is like the height of cohesivity, I gotta say, man. You could tell that a lot of thought was put into, who is gonna be on this mixtape and what song are they gonna be onto and what are they gonna be doing on that song, because everything flows together so perfectly. Nothing in this mixtape snaps me out of it and say, oh well, that sounded out of place. Not at all. Which brings me to next song, All Night, featuring Knox Fortune. Love this, man. The tempo goes up and suddenly we're on some disco pop sounding kind of thing with some light EDM, UK house influences on there. Loved it. And considering the fact that the American Deep House movement originated in Chicago, I thought that was a really, really dope touch right there. Definite change of pace, both tempo wise and vocally, from that song. So that brings up the energy, and then that brings us into my one of my favorite, but again, not my favorite. My favorite's Finish Line. For you guys who want to know what my favorite song, it's Finish Line. We'll get there. 14 tracks. How great, and what makes this song amazing is, oh my god, we got Jay Electronica verse. We got My Cousin Nicole too on it. Oh my god, Jay Electronica, and this song is some of the best bars that I've heard by Chance, I think, ever. I don't know if I've ever heard him spit like this. He had Jay Electronica on a verse, and he didn't necessarily get bodied. Chance did not get bodied by Jay. I think Jay Electronica, you put him on your song, obviously it's gonna take your song to a different lyrical level. But I think for Chance to hold his own against Jay Electronica, for y'all rap fans, y'all know what that means. It's so impressive. And especially on this low key of an instrumental, and the fact that we got them talking about their spirituality and the value of having faith. You could definitely tell the sincerity in both of them, and I'm not sure about Jay Electronica's religious inclinations, but from his verse it definitely sounds it sounded very natural. It sounded very sincere. One of the lines that I can't remember verbatim was definitely on the lines of him taking over this year, which excited me. And I could be reading into it too much. He could just be saying with this one verse that I'm gonna take over. People are gonna be talking about it, which very well may be the case. But to me, as a hip hop fan, I'm reading it, I'm wait, are we getting more Jay Electronica music? Can we get that album finally? So I'm hoping that comes to fruition. And then that brings me to Smoke Break featuring Future. When I saw Future on the track listing, I gotta say, I was oh god, I don't know what to expect on this. And especially as I was listening to that, I had listening to the album, working my way. This is on the latter half of the album now. I'm oh god, what is Future gonna do? What Future are we getting? Because I'm not trying to hear What a Time to Be Alive, trapper Future. And luckily we got soul, singing Future, who he's demonstrated his abilities to do that. He demonstrated on the album Honest, which I was not a fan of that album, but he did it on there. He on what is Hold You Down, the DJ Khaled song, you know, he's singing on there. And luckily, with the down tempo nature of it, you know, that Chicago meets Southern sound meshed together perfectly. Shout out to the producer of this track. They did a fantastic job making a beat that really encompassed the vibes of, you know, both areas, and they had a surprisingly decent chemistry together, and we got a different feature than I've heard in years, so that was really exciting. And then finally, my favorite song, Finish Line / Drown. We got T-Pain, we got Kirk Franklin, we got Aaron Allen Kane, and then we have no name or no name, I don't know. Sorry, it was loading. My favorite song on the album, so amazing. I'm glad that he incorporated another gospel track on it. He did a fantastic job with just the arrangement of the piece. And can we give a shout out to T-Pain, man? For y'all who didn't think he could sing, here you go. There you go. This is proof, undeniable proof that homeboy can sing his ass off, man. He did a fantastic job. Got, you know, Kirk Franklin on there. Again, I'm not a religious person, but I definitely like Kirk Franklin. You know, back when I was, you know, more into church, he was one of my favorite preachers to listen to. And lately, you know, he's shown love to Kanye. He was on Ultralight Beams, and we got him to, you know, lay it down with, I'm assuming, his choir, killing it at the latter half of the thing, and it was just incredibly impactful. Just like Ultralight Beams, you know, just hit you and like, oh my god, like you feel like you're just floating on a thing of clouds. This song definitely did the same thing. And then finally it ends off the album with Blessings, which you know, topic wise is one of the most impassioned, emotional moments on the album, and a perfect way to lead it out, man. I gotta say that Chance is one of the most talented artists doing it. When you're talking modern rappers, I think, and you're talking the best of what, you know, the modern generation has to offer, Chance most definitely should be in the talks, if not one of the best. You know, he can hold his own with the best. You know, when you're talking the lyrical guys of today, you're talking J. Cole, you're talking Kendrick. Some would throw Drake in there. That's, you know, your prerogative to do so. I would beg to say that Chance should be in there too. And if you disagree, I would highly suggest you check out this project. Check out that verse that he laid down before J Electronica, and tell me that homeboy wasn't spitting pure flames, and that homeboy really not only has a versatile flow, has a versatile delivery, but the fact that homeboy can hold a note, homeboy can structure, he can write, he can arrange, he could brainstorm how to really put different genres into one project and make it fit as just one cohesive experience. And that's the thing, that Chance gives us experiences. When other people will give you a body of work that you're like, yo, that was cool, you bump it in the whip, you play the songs and it really rocks, he gives you something that, like Kendrick would give you, like with Untitled Unmastered, where you sit back and you're like, whoa, like I was transported to somewhere else when I listened to that. And suddenly I felt like when I was listening to this album, I was sitting in the pew of like a Chicago church. Like that's where I was brought, man, with, like, you know, soul food all over the place. Like it was like a warm embrace, the entire album. And I gotta say that this is some of my favorite Chance work today. I think it's a fantastic project. And I'm curious as to what y'all thought about it. So in the comment section below, let me know what you thought about Coloring Book. What do you think about Chance? How do you think this measures up to his previous releases? Curious as to what y'all thought. Till next time, this is JV. I love you guys. Bye.